What's up, guys? K Wills here. Today I'm going to do my review of Eureka 7 AO episode 13. I got to say, overall, this was once again a really good episode. A great follow-up episode from episode 12. And yeah, I enjoyed it, so let's get right into it. So, at the beginning of the episode, we see Ao and Eureka talking. They're just having a conversation, and Ao just is trying to know more about his mother, even though Eureka doesn't know that Ao is her son. I was just asking her questions about her life, the father of the baby, etc. And as they're talking, you notice that Eureka, she has more of a joyful personality. She's actually happy compared to how she was feeling in the original Eureka 7 series, because she always felt like an outsider, different from everybody, and there'd be a lot of depressed moments that Eureka would have. But she's happy. She was enjoying the food that Owl gave her, and yeah, she had a bright personality. And we actually get into the whole during the conversation that Renton is mentioned finally. Eureka talks about Renton. He was a crybaby, a kind of an idiot, and especially a crybaby, because we all know, fans of Eureka 7, that Renton would cry like almost every other episode. Like, it got annoying, but then I know that it was a part of the story. One of the major themes within Eureka 7, from childhood to manhood. But still, it was just like almost every episode this guy would cry. And pretty much, Owl just is amazed to learn so much about his mother and from the world, because we realize that, first of all, Eureka is 6 months pregnant currently right now. And that she comes from a different world, and this world is where scub corals and humans actually exist. Eureka and Renton made it happen so that, the scub corals can coexist with the humans. And because that was one of the major goals near the end of the series, for that to happen. And pretty much, the whole theory of like being an alternative world and also time travel also intertwined in this episode, because this Eureka came too early, to the current timeline, because she's still pregnant with Owl, and what happened from what they saw in the episode 12, when they saw Eureka being dropped off with the Nearboss, that didn't happen yet. And the reason how Eureka was able to come to this world was because Renton and Eureka were trying to do experiments finding out why the scub coral were gone missing. For some reason in their world, the scub coral was just disappearing out of nowhere, and due to some mishap of the experiment, Eureka ended up here inside the scub coral in this new world. And I thought it was pretty interesting that this would be a different world, but then again, it makes a lot of sense with the differences between what happened in the original series and then the current setting that we're in. And pretty much Generation Blue know that Eureka had made her appearance, the Japanese army, everybody knows about Eureka, and they want to pretty much capture her and take her and use her for some purposes. Well, I don't really know why Japan wanted to take Eureka, but Truth was there. And Truth, pretty much, he wanted to capture Eureka because he believes that Eureka is the key to finding the truth about the world. And what was Truth actually, speaking about Truth, he was actually in a fight scene he was fighting Owl and the Near Boss, and I think from the way that he was fighting and like how he was using that black purplish energy, that I'm going to just make a prediction that Truth is actually a secret in humanoid form. Just because of the way he would make those fists out of the energy and it looked exactly like a secret. It makes a lot of sense if he would be, because, Eureka was a Corallian in human form, but now, she's half human, half Corallian. And pretty much Truth was just fighting the Nearboss, and what was weird was that Truth actually took the head off the Nearboss, and Owl was still able to work with the Nearboss. He was shooting at Truth, and I thought the Nearboss was going to be out of commission, but I guess even without a head, the Nearboss can still fight. And we also, in this episode, we have a flashback of what happened 10 years ago when Eureka went missing. She apparently was working with the Japanese to find the scub coral and collecting the quartz, and pretty much there was this secret that was it was pretty broad too. It was like a humanoid secret, and it was like basically fighting off against Nearboss and the other members of the army, and that's what we saw Ivica 10 years ago. And pretty much what happened was Eureka used her power somehow, and pretty much her wings appeared, and then a huge scub burst happened, and that's when Naru was a part of it, and that's when Truth came in. So that's pretty much what happened. she activated the corpse and she activated the skull burst, and then she went missing. We don't know what happened to this Eureka, because the Eureka that we currently see is from the past and from a different world, of course. So I thought that was pretty interesting to see that, and also to see her, the wings and stuff still were there. I guess she has better control of her Corallian body, I guess, that she's able to make her wings appear whenever she wants to. And also, when Ao was knocked out in this episode, he actually saw like a spirit of Eureka. And then at first it was Naru, then it changed to Eureka. And pretty much the message that she said to Ao was that the secrets are not the true enemies. And then she disappears. Now, I think with Naru, we knowing that she has a skull core inside of her, that Eureka is going to use Naru in a way to communicate with Ao and in some ways help Ao through his journey and try to find out the true enemy. And I think that maybe, just maybe, Generation Blue, the higher-ups, the higher commanders, or the ones in charge of the whole Generation Blue company, that they are the true enemies of the whole series, that they are using the courts for their evil purposes. And it makes sense too, because it happens sometimes in stories and certain TV shows that the hero is working for the villains and they don't even know it till the end. It does make some type of sense, but I wonder what they would use the courts for. Yeah, and then Gazelle and his friends are trying to find out more information about the secrets and the skull burst and everything. So maybe they'll lead up to something, and then perhaps they get kidnapped or knocked out, and because they know too much, because they like Gazelle and his friends are just snooping around. They want to know about the secrets, about everything, And pretty much what happened in the end was that Eureka saw that Ao was in trouble, so she got in the Nearboss. She was like, let's go. And she went up to flying, and looks like the next episode is going to have a tag team action between the two Nearbosses versus Truth. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. And I got to say, overall, since, fans of Eureka 7 and me being a huge fan of the original series, I was very pleased with this episode. And I kind of understand now when I look back at the past episodes that they've been kind of boring a little bit, but just because I anticipate more to happen, see more, hearing more about the old school characters of the original Eureka 7 series. But this episode was very good. I just can't wait for next week's. Yeah, and it's finally learning about Renton. Renton finally gets talked about. So, and actually, it would be cool to see Renton near the end, that Renton finds a way to make his way to the world to save Eureka. Because the connection they have is very strong. So I wouldn't be surprised that we saw Renton near the end of this season 1 or whatever, the end of this series. Because I believe this series is supposed to have 26 episodes. I believe, but I'm not sure. Oh, speaking with Renton, the last thing I want to talk about, it seems that Renton created the Nearboss that Ao is piloting right now. And it makes a lot of sense too, because there being two different Nearbosses, and this Nearboss looks completely different than the Nearboss that we are known to know about. So that's pretty much my review. I enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you guys thought about in the comment section below. Predictions for next week's episode, what you thought about Truth, and what you think his goals are, and just what's on your mind after seeing this episode. And don't forget to like this video, and please don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.